No, nigga, not the Tyreek.
No, we Kareem. I don't know. But I was my head coach was old school. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of his tendencies rubbed off on me, and I think they've been very effective for me. But I do think that, and he knows this too. He knows that the way that we were coached back in the 90s, the way that he used to coach back in the 80s and 70s won't fly in 2019. And I know that. And so even when I took over in 2007 as the head coach, I don't coach the same way I coached back then. Part of that is my reputation precedes me a little bit more than it did back then. And some things that probably would solve themselves at this point needed my TLC back then, you know, so there's that. But I mean, at the same time, I've grown. I feel like I've grown. I feel like I'm a better coach than I was 12 years ago. And I would not address many of those situations the same way that, and I'm going off your description and the picture. I didn't, you know, we obviously didn't see the actual incident. But, you know, I'm not going to try to go Bobby Knight on people, you know.
I should have played that shit.
Right. So the kids will take you there, though. And the kid's a freshman. He's 19. These kids, a lot of times, will attempt to take you there. And I have coached basketball. And in that situation, yes, at the end of that time, he does not need to go back in. He can sit on the end of the bench.
I've been there, dog. There's been a few AU tournaments where my coach is like, "What the fuck, nigga? Hey, just go down there. Take your ass down there."
Oh, I've collected uniforms quick. You
gotta get them out.
Oh, go in the locker room, run me my shit. So no, we don't need none of that. So I mean, I can understand. I'll put it this way: I'm glad that I'm not covered by cameras the way Tom is the way at work. But at the same time, I don't think I've ever. No, let me stop. I don't want to lie to y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I will say to his credit though, I've never really seen. I mean, I'll have to go research and look. I haven't seen many clips of Tom Izzo like that.
No, I mean, I think he's in your face. I think that's.
Well, he's in your face, but he's not like I'm about to lunge at you and have to be held back at a time during a timeout type of nigga.
But then it's like you've got to think these people are human, right? So Izzo may have had a really bad day. His superiors might have been like, "Look, you're number 2 seed, but your team's playing like shit. You're gonna be fired."
Like I said,
that's like millions of dollars that he might lose. So he might be just like really upset at this kid.
Like we were talking about at work though too. Like the last couple of years, Izzo's had a couple of early deuces during the tournament too. So he might be feeling that pressure. And like Joe said, I mean, like I haven't coached high school kids, so I would never put myself in that. I haven't coached anybody on the collegiate level, but like, yeah, I mean, it's not high school, but definitely. Open my eyes, coaches of motherfucking like 10 and 11-year-olds. Like, kids will take you. Like I said, once again, I'm not putting myself at y'all level and then that fucking hat and into that fucking ring or whatever. But like, yeah, like when your star free safety decides that I'm just gonna stare at the sun doing this play instead of dropping back and they get a touchdown, and you like, you gotta remind yourself that this little nigga's 11 years old. And you just like, I want to cuss him out, but he's 11. Well, what I'm gonna do?
Hey, here's my thing, man. Like I said, I got a new team, right?
Right.
And we've experienced a bit of a honeymoon.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I've been, the best me I could possibly be.
The best Joe. Hey, yay! How long does that last though?
To set the tone. Dude, to try to set the tone, I'm telling you, but it's been little things here and there, little slick stuff has been popping off, and then I'll be like, hey, I look at my assistant coaches, and they all know me, and I'll be like, you better tell them I'm gonna introduce them to Coach Jefferson.
Hey, be on that
y'all ain't met Coach Jefferson yet.
Be on that Roger Wilson. Hey, that's your one.
Right.
I'm keeping track. I didn't put it in my book, nigga.
So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I am so glad that I am not followed around by cameras. But I mean, I do think again that you've got to be measured in your approach, and you've got to know the kids that you're dealing with. You definitely have to know each and every individual and how to push the buttons correctly. Because if you do that with the wrong person, you're looking for a world of trouble.
Right. But you brought up a bigger point too, though. Like as far as like, and we talked, like I mean, maybe the whole podcast is making sense now. We talked about with Maya Angelou and growing up and the difference as far as age range and groups. I mean,
yeah.
Do you guys remember Lou Holtz coming out on the field and snatching niggas by the helmet and pulling them to the sideline when he was coaching Notre Dame?
I don't remember, but I don't doubt it. I mean, I know what Woody Hayes did.
Woody Hayes, you talk about, and you brought up Bobby Knight throwing a chair out there, cussing out players, this and that. Doesn't make it right. So it's like, are we evolving, or as what some people say, are we becoming softer in our approach, which may be good or bad? Who knows? I put that question.
I don't think it is becoming softer because there's still coaches who do all that stuff.
Right.
They are maybe not on these big teams, and they might be doing it. Like I said, it practices, but not so much at the actual games. Because kids, like Joe said, kids push you there. Kids have pushed me there. Coaches have pushed me there to where you're just like ready to go off, or you do actually go off on them. Coaches, I see coaches all the time that are like yelling and screaming at athletes, whether they're professional or college or high school athletes. So I don't think it's a thing from ages past. Bobby Knight coached for a really big team.
Yep.
Notre Dame was a big team. So they were things that people saw all the time, and people made big deals about them because they were so loud and boisterous even when they were being interviewed. I think a lot of coaches now can turn it off when the game is done. I mean,
not to cut you off, though, but I think more importantly, Lou Holtz and Bobby Knight made those teams big. That might be even more important to what we talk to the narrative too. What do those coaches represent as far as that program?
I put it this way though. I think Bobby Knight made that program big, but I don't think we can't limit it to being that Bobby Knight was aggressive and abusive. And
no.
I'm saying there's a lot of Bobby Knight's several things. Bobby Knight is a wonderful teacher. Bobby Knight is extremely knowledgeable. He's diligent in terms of studying tape.
He's
knows his opposition.
Fucking great coach. He's a fucking great coach. Yeah,
he's a genius. And so
he made a lot of nominal white boys great.
Yeah, most definitely. And so to take him and maybe what is by some to be considered his worst aspect and making that the sum total of who he is I think irresponsible. I do think that it may have played a part in shaping his legacy or even making him, when it was acceptable, a better coach. No. But he did not evolve with the time.
No.
And I do think he allowed it to get the better of him and become a little bit more at the forefront, other than the genius other things that we talked about that
right
are definitely part of it. You know what I'm saying? So it can't consume you. You can't let it consume you.
No, what I'm saying is I'm saying he was a great coach, as he was a great asshole. So I'm saying what I'm saying is, because he was a great coach, a lot of that shit got yada yada yada. If he had been a shit coach, they'd been like, this nigga's an asshole, he gotta go. That's all I was saying. The same with Lou Holtz. If he had been a shit coach with all that spitting and grabbing niggas and cussing niggas out, it would have been like, okay, you can go too, nigga. In the same, but it goes back to Izzo too. He hasn't had great performances even though he has won a national championship. He has had, it's been a while. But even though he has won a national championship and he has great seasons, he hasn't had great postseasons as far as the NCAA tournament. But if he was a shit or subpar coach, this would have been the thing that got him fired. But this is the thing. But like you go to social media, everybody's defending him because he's a good coach. So once again, and that's all I was saying. I mean, I wasn't trying to shit on Bobby Knight saying that's all he was, but that was a big part of what he was. But he was also a good coach that brought forth results. And we talked about this. Oh my bad. We talked about this on this podcast too. Whereas if you bring results or whatever, winning cancels everything else. Nobody gets canceled. Everybody moves on. And Bobby Knight wasn't part of the cancel culture, but if that nigga was bringing forth like 10 and whatever seasons, that nigga would have been gone too. Soon he threw that chair, they'd been like, all right, my nigga, you out.
Yeah. I mean,
if Joe, I never seen your coaching method, but I have seen, and you talked about your results. If you wasn't bringing forth results, then your coaching method wouldn't be accepted. You know what I'm saying? It's a give and take kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that I have gathered more tools over the time.
Yeah.
And whereas that might have been a tool that I used a lot early on, and it's still in my kit.
But
I definitely know that I got to go through all the other processes before I get there.
Well, and the same can go back. We talk about the A.D.A. where she's more soft spoken on some ends, but even she may be like every once in a while I might have to go to the toolkit and get a little.
I wouldn't say soft spoken is the right word. I'm just not a yeller. People called me Coach Sergeant Murder when I coached.
Okay, soft spoken, not a yeller.
I'm not yelling, but I'm definitely be firm and all that. Yeah.
They call me Staff Sergeant Passive Aggressive. Kill him with kindness and have your ass in the front leading rest. What's up? Well, which is another word for push up. But yeah, but we all have to adjust and we all have to go. I never coach, blah blah blah, but the military puts me in direct contact with adults, and sometimes they're older than me. So once again, I do agree you have to change up your managerial or coaching method. So yeah. So I didn't want to talk about this. Actually, I did, but I didn't. Why? What's going on with the internets?
Mm-hmm.
I had it up, but it decided to disappear. Let me close. Maybe Maya's still talking. Maya still letting me know you gonna call me Maya. As soon as I closed Maya Angelou, Tyreek showed up. I don't know what's going on with that.
There it is.
But it's scrolling real slowly though. So I think a lot of our fans are local, and if you're not, I'm sure you follow NFL. But if not, you should care about children. So here we have Tyreek Hill. Once again, segue into sports. We're still talking about sports. Tyreek Hill under investigation. Domestic dispute involving his child. Still ongoing as we speak about it right now. So we won't. It's kind of hard to lay judgment. We can look on his past aggression if we want to, which probably leads to people asking questions. But right now we're looking at him and his wife and their child, who is 3 right now, having a broken arm. He lives out here. We're in Missouri right now, me and Anthony, but across the state line over in Kansas, out in Overland Park, being investigated by the Overland Park PD as far as how his child received a broken arm. And there's a lot of speculation going on right now as far as how this is proceeding, because usually if anyone has been involved in sports or talked about sports, whenever it's a domestic dispute, specifically involving a player, it's pretty quick that all the information's out there. In the NFL, was involving a player, it's pretty quick unless you're an owner. Robert Kraft is very slow to progress. But if you're a player, it's
Kraft went ahead and made a statement today.
He made a statement today though. But that's because them niggas said, "Hey, dog, you trying to say you didn't do it? We'll put these tapes out there, nigga. We will put these tapes out there, yo."